Whoa, listen to this. Have you seen Finding Nemo? If it wasn't a children's movie, what would really happen when Nemo's mothers and siblings get eaten? Well, in nature, a little male clownfish like Nemo or his father Marlin would eventually become female, and a big dominant female at that. Why? Because clownfishes are sequential hermaphrodites. They are all born male and change into females when the opportunity arises, like when the big dominant mama clownfish gets eaten. Real life doesn't always make for the best children's movie. That's wild. This comes from this fascinating article I read today in the MIT Press Reader, which is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it's called What Evolutionary Biology Can and Can't Tell Us About Sex, Gender, and Sexuality. The article is written by Prasanta Chakrabarti, who is the author of Explaining Life Through Evolution. The article really gets into how we try so hard as humans to pigeonhole people into certain genders and social categories, but humans are much more complex than meets the eye. This quote says, "As we have done with human races, we have historically pigeonholed the spectrum of sex into discrete categories that don't actually fit reality." I thought this was interesting. It said, sex is one thing, gender is quite another. Gender is an expression of social and sexual identity unique to human cultures, and one that varies from culture to culture. You could say that gender is in your head while sex is in your pants. In our culture, most people with male sex organs identify as men, but some identify as women. Similarly, some men have female sex organs, but most people with female sex characteristics identify as women. You might also identify outside of the male-female binary categories that are common but not fixed in many cultures. Your gender may also change over your lifetime, as it is a fluid trait for many people. The gender binary stereotype is often linked to sex and sexuality, but neither of these is binary. Both are on spectrums across the tree of life. And one thing I like is that the author goes into how so many cultures around the world, unlike the West, are very accepting of the fluidity of people's gender. I also like that the author went into the question of homosexuality. As you know, I'm a homosexual. And the author was talking about how, a lot of people might ask the question, if nature and evolutionary biology is, going towards reproduction, then why do homosexuals, how does that happen in nature? And so the author says, homosexuality has been documented in hundreds, if not thousands of animal species. It's not uncommon, unusual, or unnatural. I love that they include this. My favorite example of same-sex mating in animals that I have seen personally are the 3 male elephants I encountered at a Sri Lankan preserve. The park rangers lovingly call them the gay boys. This mini herd was made up of a 30, a 20, and a 10-year-old elephant. Usually male elephants are solitary, but these 3 were always together and often displaying their affections. It's just cool that this author is exploring the ways that gender, sexuality, sexual orientation, all these things are just so fluid across so many cultures, across so many species, and humans are an animal species, and so it's natural that we would have all sorts of types of gender presentation and sexual orientation as well. The author then poses the question, which leads me to wonder, do humans need gender? I'm not sure we gain anything from these restrictive labels. If elephants don't need them, maybe we don't either. And then he says, certainly I can't think of why we need genders in an evolutionary context. Go check out this article. I just thought it was fascinating. The reason I found out about it is because there's this amazing app that I follow called Curio.io, which is kind of like that app Audm that got acquired by the New York Times and became New York Times Audio, which essentially is audio versions of long-form journalism. So if you like reading long-form articles, but you can't really afford the sticker price of these magazines, no shade, I can't either. I can't afford all these different journals, but I can't afford a monthly subscription to this service. And then it has every major publication. And every day they have new things that are added. So 2 of the new ones that I'm reading today is the MIT Press Reader one, and then also this one about how the US conquered inflation, which has been really interesting. But anyways, go read this. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Hope you all are having a great day. Bye.